Do you love love? Today, we're not gonna lie. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of NGL where we talk about the things in life that matter. My name is Natasha and today we are here with a very exciting episode. So we are here to discover how romantic people think. I personally do not identify as a romantic.
Me too.
I think my husband would agree. But it's okay, we love each other very much in our own ways. But today we're going to hear the stories of some friends who are very, very romantic. And they are personal friends of mine. And I have to say that they are extremely romantic. Okay, so we've got a full panel here today. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves, right? As well as share to us whether you think you are romantic.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Wei Ye. The person that Nata was describing is not me. I'm not romantic at all. Yeah.
Okay, hi, I'm May Ann. So at first when I was asked, I was thinking to myself, I'm not a romantic. I went to ask Nata and she's like, yup. I went to ask my best friend and she's like, yup. And asked my boyfriend, he was like, yup. So here I am. Apparently I am a romantic.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Nigel. There's no doubt that I'm fully romantic and I'm on board for this. When I think about romance, my heart just bursts out in fire.
Oh, wow.
So
That was
I think
so
it's
poetic.
this is I have a very vested interest in this. I'm here to fight for love.
He's here to convert everybody into a romantic. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
can
It's
try.
like, I have to say, of all the people I know, right, he's the most unashamedly romantic.
Yeah.
He's romantic and he's proud of it. Let's start with the first question. How would you define being romantic? And in light of that, right, what do you think is the most romantic thing you've done?
I think love is really about like giving to people, making someone feel special and everything. Romance has a very special touch to it. I think it's like the cherry on top of a cake. Romance is really about like going a bit more excessive, a bit more extravagant for someone. And it doesn't necessarily just have to mean spending more money, but it's basically knowing that, okay, you could get there by just simply doing this, but you set the bar so high for yourself, you could do something even more extreme just to express how passionate you are in love with someone. And I think the end goal of that is really about creating that kind of intimacy with someone.
So what's the romantic thing that you did? The most romantic
Oh
thing?
man,
Yeah.
blow us away.
I think the most romantic thing that I've ever done will probably be my proposal, because I think my wife is someone who is actually very, very romantic as well. She has watched a lot of Korean dramas and she's into all these little things. So basically what I did during the proposal, I booked a function room. It was a private room in Jewel. I basically designed or decorated the whole room. With that was that a lot of the pictures that were hanging on the side, fairy lights, those are the standard romance 101 things you got to get right? Then other things that I added on was I ordered some of her most favorite food. Then I decided to write a medley for her. So this was a 5 song mashed together Disney medley for her. And then I got her friends and my friends to put together a live band to perform the songs, right? So as she walked through the entire journey, right, the songs also
I
have
have to
a
say it's an
representation.
exhibition, okay? The function room got smaller cubby areas. Every cubby area is an exhibition on its own. Continue your
Wow.
songs.
Yeah, so that was the initial idea, like bring her through this particular journey, right? So it didn't end there. It was that's just the start. And invited all her close friends. There was like it was a mini party. It was like 30-40 packs. Like it was slightly too big. People were questioning if that was the actual wedding. So yeah, so I invited her friends, surprised her, and I actually wrote her a book. Yeah. So there were poems in there that I written, and now I look back, it's like it does sound a bit cheesy. But
Also, you find it cheesy.
yeah, of course,
On
yeah.
hindsight.
Yeah, on hindsight,
Yeah.
it was a little bit too mushy, a bit too much. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, after he proposed, right, he bring the book around, ask everybody read. Then like, wow, I really feel like I'm reading his diary, you know, and I shouldn't be reading this. So that's the level of love.
Wow.
It was amazing. Yeah. So reaching to the end of that, basically the end of the function room, it was like a turn of a corner. That was where I gave her the biggest surprise. Her family were all invited there. Then I was actually playing a piano for the proposal. So then I actually did a song and played the piano together. So I wrote her, or rather I rearranged a song and then presented it to her before I proposed. Yeah. So it
Wow.
was yeah, it was
It was a concert lah.
It was.
a
I
concert.
got
It was a
invited to a
concert.
free concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a night with Disney.
I was warned quite strictly by most of my male friends to never ever upload this on my social media pages. Yeah.
You set the bar way too high.
But you just described the whole thing here.
We're
That's
quite
true,
famous. We're on YouTube.
But you haven't seen it in
If
pictures.
you would like to
and
take a look at the book, the link is down below. You can download that on the PDF file.
Memoir. Nigel saying.
Insert all the photos.
Yeah.
Please do not expect this of Wesley.
Actually, I think he can do pretty well. I think Wes can do quite
I
well.
also think so.
Stress on
I
you,
think
bro.
to be romantic, right,
Good
you
luck,
must
man.
be a bit extra one.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
he's
he very
quite-
extra, so can-
Wes is a bit extra also.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote me a book to like confess to me, to ask me to be
Wow,
his
these
girlfriend.
guys, ah.
Yeah. But no song. But it's okay. I don't think he can. Sorry.
You mean he wrote a book to you?
He wrote a book for me. And he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
someone to
yeah.
illustrate the thing. So it's because I like children's book.
How did I confess?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's over a plate of biryani.
Porridge.
No books.
Seriously.
Teochew porridge. I can't remember.
Teochew porridge. I think Teochew porridge.
My gosh.
the ghost,
okay,
remember?
cool.
Yeah, Brian confessed to me on the MRT while we were on the way home. And he sincerely thought it was a good idea because as friends we take the MRT home together.
Sentimental value.
Yeah.
Quite
yeah.
cute lah, quite cute.
There's that. Yeah, I do agree.
If you say so. So May Ann, what's your
Okay.
definition?
Actually, mine is pretty similar to Nigel's. I was thinking like grand gestures, something that is very thoughtful, something that I feel like I don't have to ask for it. So I like things like flowers and cards, very typical like romantic thing that I thought everybody liked and wanted. That's why I didn't think I was so romantic because I was like, which girl don't want flowers randomly? Which girl don't want cards written for you at random points of the day? But I think for me, what the most romantic thing I did, okay, what I think is the most romantic thing and what my boyfriend thinks the most romantic thing is actually quite different. So for me, I think, okay, but then again, my most romantic thing has not been done yet at this point of filming. Yeah, so
you're changing
yeah,
your
so
mind.
later
Jing,
maybe
jing.
we'll see next time. But right now, what I'm trying to prepare or what I have prepared is that I'm waiting for him to propose to me because I want to kind of re-propose back to him. I don't really know what to call it. Yeah, so at the beginning of the relationship, I joked with him and I asked him if you're a girl and I don't know what and how would you imagine your ideal proposal to be? Then he gave me some scenario that doesn't make any sense. He was like, I wish I was at the stadium in Man United. I don't know. I don't even know where they're at. Manchester United Stadium, and I.
Manchester. That's
Oh,
where they're at.
okay. I did not know that. Yeah.
I actually did not know that too.
Yeah.
Manchester United, what?
Oh, okay.
Liverpool's in
That makes
Liverpool.
sense. Oh, right.
But yeah.
Okay, he's hoped that we are in a soccer stadium and there's a gigantic ball and I emerge from the ball. Okay, I emerge from the ball and behind me is the whole Man U team cheering on for me. And as I get down on one knee to say, "Will you marry me?" At the back they are shouting,
Glory.
"Will you manage me?" So at the same time, he signed 2 contracts to marry me and to manage Man United. So that's his dream proposal. Yeah, which obviously I didn't even know where Manchester United was, so I can't find them. But what I'm going to do is that the next best thing is that if we
Geylang
cannot play,
Go stadium.
if he cannot manage a soccer group, he likes to play FIFA. He loves FIFA. So actually I bought him PS5 for him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then there's
Now you're talking.
two controllers. So I'll propose to him with 1 controller because he doesn't like the watch, he doesn't like rings, he doesn't like jewelry. So I'll propose to him with that. And in the card, I will make a card of me emerging from a soccer ball.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah. So I don't know if he even remembers it, but I'm planning to do that. Go to a restaurant and something like that and do something nice with that. So I think he'll like it. He loves playing FIFA, so I hope he likes it. Yeah.
Wow.
That is quite sweet.
Yeah.
That's quite sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, how you feel about your Teochew porridge? I'm slightly embarrassed and ashamed, I gotta say. But yeah.
Hey, it's quite sweet. Okay, whatever. So I personally think that romance is just doing things extra. Okay, I don't mean it in a negative way, but okay, when you all asked me when we're preparing for this, right, I was like thinking, am I romantic or what? And I was like thinking that sometimes I think I'm romantic, but sometimes I feel too lazy to be romantic. But I do recognize or I do reflect, and I think that I think I'm a thoughtful person. I always think that the doing a bit extra, right, is very extra lor. You do extra for what? You can achieve with this. You can pass and graduate already. Why need to go A star, right? So So I think that romantic is just going the extra mile to do something extra for all kind of a effect lah, which I think maybe 1-2 time can already, but I don't think I got the energy to sustain. So I think that's that lah. But the most romantic thing, honestly, right? You ask me what is the most romantic thing that I've done, I really don't know how to answer. I actually texted my wife, she didn't reply until just now. Then she replied this, which I thought that, okay, I married the correct person. She said that I can't pinpoint a single event, but I guess it's just like you are very sensitive or you are very mindful about the things like what she needs without her having to say. So I thought, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether it's romantic or that's being thoughtful. But yeah, I think romantic is too K-pop, K-drama already lah.
Yeah.
The only K-drama I watch is like Mouse, which is a psychopath show, or Squid Game. So I really can't relate. Yeah.
I'm a very practical person. So I don't need flowers. If I like, I buy my own flowers from Cold Storage. I specifically told him on our first Valentine's Day, don't waste money buying the flowers because I feel like that money I can eat something nicer. Like I don't need like a $50 bouquet. So on our first Valentine's Day, we went to Cold Storage to buy flowers. Then we just sit at the food court and make our own bouquet and had a competition to see whose bouquet is nicer. I thought that was quite cute, but some people think it's not romantic. But we are both quite practical. And I think to some degree, maybe that's why we match each other lah. Like, because I really go and think about it, right? Like, if let's say there's somebody who is very like romantic, like come and chase me, or I actually think I will feel a bit like, oh, that's too much.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, really not psychopath. It's just like okay, I know I'm not very touchy-feely as a person. So I feel that comes with being romantic. Like very, very affectionate, very like I love you to the moon and back. How much do I love you? This much. You know, that kind of thing. So like I am not the most like receptive to that kind of expressions. If other people do it and I know that the two of you love it, sure, all power to you. But like for me, I don't super need it, nor do I really desire it. So I think maybe because of that, me and Brian were drawn to each other. I did ask him, I was like, hey, what if like I'm somebody that like super romantic and then I every day want to tell you that I love you and then I every day want you to like express to me that you love me. Then he say, I think we won't be together. He told me. And I think that that's quite true.
But for the record, do you like being pursued?
I think my bar is really quite low. Like, as long as he like plan for us to go out, I'm okay already.
I see.
Maybe he go and like plan something, bring me out to eat something that I like. But this one date, right, I think can last me like 3-4 months. Okay. Then we plan the next date lah. So I think we're a little bit more like practical love.
Like if I were to, maybe there will be someone listening and thinking like, okay, maybe my boyfriend or girlfriend is a romantic. How do you as a romantic receive love?
For me, I realized my romance is always towards my wife, but I never had the same expectations for myself. So it's in a way that I would lavish all kind of gifts on her. I'll go above and beyond to make her feel like happy and like to feel the romance behind it, right? But for myself, if she were to spend that same money or that same effort on me, I probably won't receive it as well. On that note, also we are homebodies. We don't like going out. We love to throw date nights at home. Just build a balcony and has a bookshelf there, and like we can just sit there.
Okay, but y'all make it like an event.
Yeah, we actually do make it like an event. Yeah, so we will plan. We are both very introverted. We love our own space and time. We don't necessarily need to be like see each other and stick to each other or like cuddle all the time and all these things. But she tends to find romance in some of the smaller things. Like she will have those crazy moments. Okay, I won't say crazy, but those just moments of inspiration where she will just look at me and like, you know, I saw this drama scene today and, you know, the guy suddenly just hold her waist and tuck her in very quickly. It's like, you need to do that to me more often. That's my wife.
Yeah,
she communicates it. Yeah.
Hey, if Brian do that to me, I'll say stop.
I can imagine if I do it to Alicia, she's like, ow, stop! What are you doing?
But these are small things that we do. I think that's where we find romance in.
You're very, very romantic.
Yeah. Oh, she is way more romantic. She's a bit offended that I was sitting here, not her. So
have you ever felt like tired of being so romantic?
I think something about romantics, right, is that we want to give excessively onto others. The question is usually, why does the romantic want to do it? You know, why do they want to give so much of themselves? If we could be really honest and truthful to ourselves, sometimes it is embedded not just in the fact that we want the other person to feel love in an excessive manner, but sometimes it could be also that we desire to have that same love being reciprocated to us. So for me, I have a lot of health issues. So there's quite a bit of health scares in my growing up years. I always make it a point to do these things alone. It's like, nobody should have to share my pain. Right? But when it comes to loving someone, I'll be like, I'm all out to love this person. So what my wife did for me was that I told her, don't show up. I have an appointment at this hospital, and she just just show up.
Yeah, you
She
crazy. Where got wife don't show up one?
we just started dating then. Yeah. So she had a
Right,
choice
right.
to think, but then she showed up. Yeah, and I think that was a very romantic
very
act
sweet
for me.
Yeah.
So it really met my need at that point of time, because I'm really about an acts of service, right? So I think it takes a while as we mature and we grow in relationships to like understand that some things the person do or don't do frustrates me, and that comes from a deeper need somewhere. And I think especially for romantics, it's even more important to recognize that when you go out there to love people and all this, that you also actually hope to have that kind of reciprocation. And you need to identify and be honest with yourself about that, and then help your partner or someone who cares for you to then be able to meet that need somewhere or another.
That was what I had to learn in my relationship also, because at the beginning when we started, I thought it was very natural, and I thought, because so the context is that I liked him for very long, right? And throughout the years of liking him and not doing anything, I already had like a million ideas of things I want to do for him, but I cannot do because I'm not together with him. So when we got together, I thought, oh my god, he must have a million ideas for me too. But he did not.
Only 1,000, not 1 million. Disappointment.
1,000.
Yeah. So when I did things for him, or when, for example, you ask, do gifts, like ideas of gifts come naturally? It does, because sometimes I feel my head is just thinking like,
wow.
what does he need? Like now he very stressed. What will he like? No. So I'm constantly thinking of ideas and things that I can do for him. Yeah. So at the beginning when I was doing that, I thought it was natural for everybody to do the same. It's like, just think about me, and then you can think of something. I
Keep
say a lot.
thinking about
Just
me.
keep thinking.
Just keep thinking about me.
Yeah.
Different kind of K-drama.
The psychopath.
Yeah, psychopath, right?
Psychopath.
Yeah, so at the beginning that brought up quite a few like disagreements or like tension and fights, because I equated like that, like me showing him that kind of love, like what you say, I was hoping and expecting him to return it to me in the exact same way, the exact same thoughts, like random gifts, randomly you buy him like egg tart, go home and eat, surprise him at soccer, go and buy him Mr. Coconut so he can enjoy after soccer kind of thing. So I was expecting that form of love that it becomes so specific that I ignore the other forms of love that he gives me. Yeah, because my idea, maybe as a romantic, it just becomes such a clear expectation of what it looks like to romance me, or what it looks like for me to feel love, that, for example, things like when he sends me home every single night, I discount that. I was like, oh yeah, take it as what. Why he never give me like other things? Say for a birthday once, right? He did so many different things. Was it birthday? Yeah, I think it was birthday. He did many different things for me. Brought me out, bring me nice place to eat. I think he brought me a gift also, right? But at the end of the whole day, right, I cried, because I was like, you didn't write me a birthday card. And that was the one thing I requested. I didn't ask for anything else. I just asked for a card, and you didn't give me a card. Yeah, then I cried. Yeah. Then he was very shocked. I was like, I did like everything. He didn't. He was very nice about it and gentle. He was like, I did everything else. I was like, I know, but I asked for a card. You never listened to me.
You never listen to me one.
Yeah, so that happened. But then after some time, then we had to talk it through, and I realized, actually, he is showing me the love. Like, why I want a card? Because I want his love to be expressed to me, written down so I can remember. But to him, it's like he just wants to love me, and he plans so many nice activities for me. But I didn't let that kind of take the same sort of like importance or the same kind of weight, I guess, in a sense. So I think that's something I had to learn. Like, let go of certain very specific ideas of what love is, right? And be able to see that he loves me in his own way, and I have to be very intentional to like notice like, oh, actually he does that, and then thank him for it. Like, yeah. Right.
I guess from all this sharing, I think there is hope lah that if you are having a crush with someone who's a romantic and you're clearly not, it can work out, right? Like I think that is about communication, I guess. Like you can excessively or be extravagant in your expression of love, but it doesn't mean that the romantic will expect that reciprocated. Like you just need to find out what's the love language, be there when they need it, and I think that can still work lah. So I guess there's a lot of hope, I guess.
No, so to me it's interesting that you say that.
Why?
Because I feel like cannot.
Really? Okay, what?
I feel it depends on like the two people, right? Like how much each person is willing to budge.
Yeah.
And I feel
agree.
sometimes with like people who are very, very romantic, they run the risk of not budging because they feel like this is it's like the peak expression of love, and anything below that I am settling.
Yeah.
And
If
so
he wanted
why
to,
should
he
I
would,
settle?
he was-
Yeah. And then
He
TikTok got all this nonsense,
Yeah.
right? If he wanted to,
He would,
he's a 10, but he doesn't like buy flowers. That kind of, wow, 5. You know? So like I feel with some people who, I think you guys are maybe like, I think they're quite like emotionally mature, to be honest. But like there are also some cases where people who are very, very, very romantic, like you develop this sense of like, I am searching for the highest form of love and like I will not settle for anything less. But then it's very difficult for a person like that to be in a relationship with someone who's very practical. What?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it
True.
also depends on whether that person who is very practical, do you make being practical your identity and like I just am going to love like that and I refuse to budge and I'm not going to meet you in the middle.
Right.
So I think it does take a few factors to determine whether or not it will work. And I personally feel if one is very romantic and one is very not, there's a lot of hard work that goes into making it work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Where is your wife romantic?
I think she is. Okay, I think maybe now married with 2 kids, maybe the expectation drop lah, right? So, but I think that I am quite sensitive to her needs, or I want to believe that I will observe like things that she don't say, I will still like do something for her. And sometimes she will make a remark and say, hey, that's like, oh, thanks, like how you know I need this and whatsoever. So I think those moments she will be touched. But I'm not sure whether she will coin me as someone who's romantic. I don't think so. So I think she is romantic, but her K-drama she watched also true crime scene, that kind of thing.
Phew.
Okay, but I
Actually,
think
the real test is we must align all the K-drama that we watch.
See
right?
what
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of-
I
Then it
think
forms
so.
for you your
Okay.
impression of what love is.
correct. I think so. Yeah, but I think she's a romantic. But I think perhaps through the test of time, I've shown my value by being observant, by being thoughtful, and I think that that was something that that she appreciated, and she settled for that. I'm not romantic, but okay lah, can do lah, pass.
So were there moments where maybe she communicated to you that she hoped for a certain expression of love and affection that you don't agree with?
Actually, yes. Whenever she shared about the cut thing, right, it reminded me of something very funny. So I'm not sure whether this is relevant, but it totally like, how come so similar? So it happened on Mother's Day. Okay, so what happened is that on Mother's Day, I think it was on a weekend, right? So we went out with the kids, right? We go eat well, we went to visit her family, we celebrated Happy Mother's Day and whatsoever. So we go shopping or whatsoever. I can't remember exactly what we did lah. So we did all these things. I think when she want to take an afternoon nap, I let her nap and I watch the boys and everything. I thought like, okay, maybe give you a break for Mother's Day, right? So everything done, sui already at night, and then we were lying on bed and we were sleeping, right? Then she started crying. Sounds familiar? Yeah. She started crying and I said, why are you crying? Then she took very long to regain composure, and then she said, you never wish me Happy Mother's Day. I was like, I do all this thing, no count, I must say. Then is it I say Happy Mother's Day, I don't need to do the rest of the thing, is it? So I was like, oh, okay. So that was something that reminded me that actually, yeah, quite similar. Yeah, so I think she's a romantic based on that parallel. Yeah, I think she is.
So how you manage a situation like that? Do you feel like it's very ridiculous and like it's not fair to discount on my love?
Honestly, at that point in time when it was so late and I wanted to sleep and then she suddenly cried and then I find it very funny. I found it funny and slightly ridiculous, but I think she also understands that that it was a funny thing to be upset about lah. But I also recognize that okay lah, maybe it was something that she was hoping, or maybe she just was waiting for me to say it but never say. So
Right.
so it's just a moment thing lah. So I think we didn't let it affect us very much, but it's something that I remember till now that okay, I need to be very intentional about wishing her or like being mindful about the things that she cares a lot about. Yeah. Okay, so a question now that I have, right, is that I'm honestly quite curious. I know when we're thinking about this whole romantic thing, right? So now you all are attached/married, right? So do you all feel that it is a common trend to expect romanticism to drop in a marriage? Do you all find it that you need to put in more effort to be romantic, or for romantics like yourself, you feel that it's very natural that I think when 50 years into the marriage, I'll still be very romantic, I'll still prepare extravagantly.
I think I expect it to drop. Like the thought will still be there, but maybe the form, maybe run out of songs to write already by 50 years of marriage. You never know. Yeah. So I think in that form will drop, but I still kind of would hope for like randomly we'll have flowers, maybe lesser, maybe surprise once a year instead of more. I don't know. That's what I hope for, but I don't know whether it's realistic or not. Yeah. But as of this point, haven't married yet. I feel like I think can because my dad is like that. My dad is quite a romantic, but my mom is the opposite. My mom is so practical and she doesn't get it. Yeah. So, but she just like, oh, okay, that's how he loves me.
You
But
think it's easier when the guy is the romantic one. Then the lady like doesn't really have that much
because he's not so sensy and he doesn't expect it. He really doesn't expect it like in return. So he's like the kind buy my mother like, don't know, like 99 roses. Then come in, then all of us are like, where the hell are we going to put this?
Everybody take 30 put in your room.
Everybody in your room. My mom said, you want to give your friends? I'm like, no, he gave it to you. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't know. So maybe because I see that growing up, it's not very, very often, but I can see that he does put in effort to like love in that way. Okay, but I also have to say that yes, you love in that way, but then also love in the way that she wants to be. She wants to receive it also. So she will exchange it for one round of like laundry, one flower if she can, she'll rather do that. Yeah. But maybe in my head drop. But then I think still can. I think still can. I can maintain. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, it will definitely change when it comes to the form of it. Today, maybe doing romantic things could be bringing her out for a nice meal, bring her, or doing like special activity together. I can imagine probably in 5 years, 10 years, calling early, but maybe cleaning my baby's butt will be the romantic thing that I can do for her. Or maybe
Not sure about that.
putting on the dishwashing gloves and all these things and cleaning the house. I still do that now. I never let her like touch the toilet bowls and stuff. I clean it myself every week.
Me too. But I also never touch a toilet bowl, so it just stay dirty. Sorry.
But no, it's good. So I think the romanticism takes a different form. It's like still serving her needs, but then meeting them in some other ways. Actually, I'll say it's quite similar to Wei, even though he don't agree at this point. But being thoughtful, just looking out for the needs that she have and just trying to fill certain gaps can actually be romantic if she feels that way. Ultimately, it's how she receives it as well. So I was just thinking about before coming to here, like what does romanticism in its purest form looks like? So this is what romantics think about and I think all the time, right? So
You're
I think
the
about
apex of romantics.
so I'm trying to find like my grounding principle for romance. So it's irrefutable. But what I can think of, right, is like two people. Just try to imagine, like with me, like two people, dancing in the rain. Yeah. That's the most ridiculous thing people will do, right? I will think like that. I'll be like, don't you know rainwater carries chemicals? You will fall sick. And like,
exactly the first thought in my head when you said it.
Yeah, it's like I think like that also. But to these two people, right, it's a bit special, right? They have this like hack the whole world kind of mentality when they do this. It's like there could be people carrying umbrellas walking by and like, what are you doing in the middle of the road or like out in the streets? Like, do you not have like better things to do in life? But to these two people, it's a very special moment for them, right? And I think there's a bit of like what romance sometimes look like. It is about doing stupid things together in public and like not being ashamed about like who will look at you, who laughs at you. Like nobody really cares about that, or at least to the two of them, nobody really cares about that. And there's this kind of special moments do fit into the relationship one way or another. It's like somewhere down the road they were like, there is this experience or this feeling that I get from this person that's so special and that's so unique that I cannot get from another relationship. right? And that also fits into a relationship in the sense that then your commitment grows stronger, your intimacy
Yeah.
grows stronger. It's like you could, like when you're down, look for a friend or look for drinks, like take a glass of red or whatsoever. But then you will never, something new will realize that nothing really replaces this person being there, doing stupid things with you, etc. So I think that's the purest form of romance. Actually, it's about not thinking and caring about what the whole world thinks, right? But today's version of romance is quite different. It's kind of swung to the other side where romance need to look like a way that everybody will one look at it and like, oh, this is super romantic. This is wow, he's very romantic, and and people thrive on that kind of comments and that kind of feedback. But actually, I think in the purest form, maybe romance was to look like I don't really care about the whole world altogether. So that's my version of romance. Yeah.
Do you think y'all are more prone to comparison as romantics? Like riding on what he said, right? Seeing how other people express love and wishing that you can experience that kind of love.
I think once in a while you see something like maybe like another couple does that you think is sweet, but at the same time it's like what is romantic to one couple doesn't really look very romantic to me also.
Yeah. So I think that's also the idea of like romanticism. Like you don't focus on the result. Right? I think the pragmatic people will be like, okay, we need to go for a date. Okay, I booked this restaurant at this place, this timing. Let's go there, have a good meal, then we go home. Romantics think very differently. Romantics is about the whole process. It's like, how do I bring the
It's
person there?
experience
Yeah, exactly. So they don't really care about the end result. You could reach there and eat some trashy food at the end of the day. The restaurant can even be closed, or like you never even book the restaurant and like you end up in a mess. You end up going to different places, having a lot of roadblocks and etc. Or you're not even getting your dinner. Go home and cook cup noodles, for example. But that can be very romantic to the romantics, right? Because it's like the entire process I'm doing with someone. I enjoy going through all the ups and downs together and blah blah. Very, very romantic, right? So
Nata's face is like,
I guess it's the being present lah. Like
Something
it's
like
like you can brainlessly just like every once in a month go and book a restaurant, eat nice, and go back, wear a bit nicer, don't wear flip flops, don't wear Crocs, wear shoes, right?
Yeah.
But if you are not there, you're just doing for the sake of doing, that's not romantic. Even though it's a romantic gesture.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I see. Cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
exactly.
So interesting lah. Like I think that I can feel a lot, but I guess maybe what I'm learning from the romantics here is that like it's really about that personal value on going the extra mile to express love.
Yep.
Right? I guess it's the intentionality, being present, which I think is something worth learning from. I think it's not like whether or not it's a romantic, not romantic thing, but I think as you love someone, as you are in a relationship, I think it helps to be intentional. Like when you are many years into a relationship, when you are like more married for 20, 30 years, right? I guess it helps to be intentional, to be present, to remember why you love the person, to help this person remind each other that, you know, I still love you. I think these simple gestures, that effort to want to put in that investment of time and emotions into that relationship, I think that will go a long way. I think maybe simple gestures like that many years later will still be romantic because it is thoughtful and sweet. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I'm learning a lot from these two romantics here.
Okay, I have a
hear you.
question for everybody. Given that we are clearly on different ends of the spectrum, how should we go about not judging other people's version of love? Because, right, as a romantic, it's very easy to look at somebody who's very not romantic, then you're like, like that love man, you know? But also then for somebody who's more practical, you can like, wow, you very extra, like, need to love until like that. Yeah, and how do you guys make sense of it? Are y'all judgy? And then how do y'all make sense of that, you know?
It's a tough question. I'm critical as a person. I won't say I'm judgy.
Okay, potato.
This is good questions, but actually, I think this idea of romance and love is very unique to two people. I don't know whether you observe, but sometimes I go down the street and I see two elderly couple just holding hands, like 70 years, 80 years, but they're holding hands, and that's a very sweet thing to me. It's like I will tell my wife, next time we grow old, I want to be like that. No, but actually, there's nothing more extravagant than just holding hands. For them, they just probably did it from young until they're old, right? And it doesn't cost a bit to do that, right? But I think that's why it's very hard for me to be able to say or like to judge someone in that regard. But I do hold quite high expectations of guys in general, men in my life, my friends. That kind, I will always like, I hold expectation in the sense that do they bother trying to find out what their partner needs. Yeah, so it's like they will go around, trying to conquer the sun and all these things, but then they never actually open their mouths and ask the partner, is like, oh, actually, do you value these things? Of course, I have vested interest in romance. When relationships around me thrive, I thrive even. I burn. Oh, I sound so sick saying this.
You can write a book. I think you can write a book.
Has anybody ever told you that you're imposing your idea of love on them?
Not really. I usually frame it as a suggestion.
Maybe you should do this more.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Perhaps if you would like to look at my marriage and my...
Would you like to
just
take
kidding,
the
just
reference?
Yeah,
Cool.
but there are some things that work for some and some things that work for others. I think I'm quite charitable in nature. I always try to okay, and I will always encourage. Yeah.
I think if you ever want to change industry, you can be love coach.
Yeah, I think so too.
Go and start your
I
own
think can
company.
also. I think for me, right, like actually before I got into a relationship, I was very judgy about couples who are very romantic. So actually I like used
Couples
to like
are very romantic.
yeah. So when I was younger, that's why I didn't think I was romantic because last time I like. So when I was younger, I used to watch K-dramas, but after some point it got so unrealistic, right? I stopped. I like watched Descendant of the Sun. Then she drink the wine. Then I like, oh, that's damn gross. Like, why would you kiss someone like that? Like, it just became very unrealistic to me, and I didn't enjoy it. So when I scroll through Instagram, right, then there are certain people that I judge, and then they are like very sweet and very cringy in the caption, like you're my wifey, and I don't know, they just started dating and things like that. I can't remember what it was, but I remember I would like screenshot that I sent my best friend. Then I like, oh my god, like I hope they will never talk to me like that. Like I never talk to me like that again. Yeah, but then once I got into a relationship, then I realized you are that person. Maybe not the extreme, but I think when I look back, right, then I realized the thing that I was kind of like judging them for was that, to me, it was the lack of commitment. Or I equated, I didn't like it when someone was very romantic at the beginning of the relationship, but then a lot of these relationships that I see, they're so romantic on Instagram, right? Like 4 months later, they break up.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is just happened to be my feed and like the people around me. Yeah. So I think, then I was thinking when I'm older now, right? Like maybe if like a 30 years married couple send this kind of same thing, right? I love you, my wifey. Then I actually think it's very sweet. And it's very touching, and it's like, oh, that's so. Maybe I still don't want him to send me like that, but that's fine. But to me, like that's their expression of love and how romantic it is matched by the commitment.
Right.
But then at the beginning, it's like the fire very hot. But then to me, it's like it's very shallow. It's like hot for a short while, then burns off, and then you break up, and then you move on to the next person. Yeah, but to me, like I don't know whether it's answering the question, but I realized that I judge it a bit less when I can see the commitment between a couple. Sometimes you cannot see one because you just see on Instagram, but to give them that, okay, I think that they seem committed and it's sweet when they love each other this way.
Also depends what different people fall in love differently. Some
That's
people
true.
like really fall in love like intensely at the start. Then for whatever reason it doesn't work out. But some people are more of a slow burn. I mean, these are the
correct.
words going around now, right? Slow
Yeah.
burn romance and like, okay, let's say now you were to look at somebody who is not so romantic, given that you are quite right. Do you feel like there's some form of like a comparison or like, you know, what love looks like for you versus for me?
I actually sometimes I wish I was a bit less. Because I feel it is tiring, not just for me, but for my partner also. Like, I do feel a bit bad sometimes when, like, I can relate to, like, after the whole day, then I sit down, then I cry, like, oh, one thing, he never do this small thing. But it's my head, it's like, it feels so, like, he did so many things, but how come my emotions cannot catch up to what I think in my head? So sometimes when I look at it, then I do feel a bit like, I wish I was a bit less romantic. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Is there a conversation you guys have?
Not explicitly like that, but I think that's why also I'm open to like not imposing every expectation that I have on him.
I do feel romantic or not, that is part of growing together in a relationship. Like the ability to communicate with each other your hopes, your preferences, but also being willing to move from your own position and not being so, for lack of better words, stubborn on having your way. I think for any relationship to thrive, romantic or pragmatic or whatever you want to call it, there is that degree of like compromising and like talking things out so that we can build a life together. It's not just like this romance that I've built in my head and then now you come and join that picture. And if you can't fit this picture, then I'm going to replace you with somebody else, you know? Yeah.
Well, I guess I actually learned a lot from this conversation. I think that a few things that really stood out to me is that, like, for people who are romantic, that we recognize that there is room for you all to be more mindful and be aware of. Like sometimes when your expectations don't match what you are giving and all. I think that's very good advice for people who find yourself being romantic, right? That you need to be mindful that you are chasing after not a reciprocation, but you are giving out of love for the person and you don't expect that, to be reciprocated. And I think that being mindful about that is very important. Not whether or not you're romantic or not. I think that you just need to be mindful of your own personal needs and also how you are pouring yourself and also taking care of yourself. I think communication is key. I think you say that, commitment is very important. Don't like just be romantic for the sake of the chase, but romanticism is also a fire to help your relationship be exciting in the long haul. So I think that there's a lot of lessons that we can all learn, whether or not we are romantic or not. I think I learned a lot. I think my wife's going to benefit a lot from this episode. I hope. Sekali I say all these things, right? They never do anything. When's our anniversary? Okay. Anyway, by the way, my anniversaries are in my calendar and I don't remember this very well. So that's my effort, okay? It's romantic,
It's
okay?
very thoughtful.
So I guess we have learned a lot from our friends here. So really hope that you learn something like I've did, and I hope that y'all will find that you'll realize that love can appear very differently. For everyone, romance can look very differently for you and I. Romance look like biryani for me, and romance can look like Disney exhibition. So it's really different. Don't compare. And I think that that's a really great conversation that we had. Thank you so much for all your sharing.
Thank you for sharing your stories and for the back and forth. I really love it that we disagreed. Yeah, I like that the conversations are not so like one-dimensional and everybody's just agreeing. So it's good that we see it differently and we all have quite healthy relationships where we're happy. I hope so. Love can look like different things. So thank you for joining us for today's episode. We hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. If you have a friend who loves love, send this episode to them. If you love love, drop us a DM and let us know. You can find more of our episodes on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find us on socials at Instagram and TikTok at ngl.people, and you can join our Telegram channel where we share behind the scenes footage as well as information about our upcoming events. So with that, we've come to the end of this episode and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.